All right, we've got a lot going on with UFOs today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, we've got a new interview with Lou Elizondo coming up on Friday with Ross Coulthart. He just announced that on the newest episode of Need to Know with Bryce DeBell and Ross, of course. Yeah, really looking forward to that. That should be super juicy. I can't wait to get my copy of Lou's book this week. Yeah, really excited about what's going to come in the next few months. We've got Lou's book. We've got UFO hearings, at least one. We've got James Fox's documentary. So hopefully, even though 2024 hasn't been the gangbusters year we were all hoping for, maybe it'll end with a bang. So yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Also on that Need to Know episode comes this from Bryce.
First, he kind of explains how these things work, which...
Talking about Lou's book.
That was news to me, where he's talking about the bubbles. And the bubbles, they say, this is what he said, the bubbles accord around the UAP distorts the way light and other electromagnetic emanations interact with the UAP inside the bubble, which is, pretty interesting. I'm not a physicist, but what it comes down to, the way he describes it, is that you get the saucer shape because you don't want the saucer outrunning its bubble, and a bubble is circular. So that's one bubble. If you have a cigar-shaped thing, or tic-tac anyone, you have two bubbles, one at each end. And if you have one of those mysterious black triangles running around, you have three bubbles, one on each corner. And if you have a super large triangle, you have four bubbles, one on each corner and one in the middle. And if you have one of those huge damn boomerangs that people have seen, the ones that are ginormous, then you have five bubbles. So, that's kind of interesting stuff to me. And a
5-bubble boomerang. Okay.
I found that something I wasn't quite clear on. And it means that somehow people within the program understand a lot more about what these things are and how they work than they have let on over the years.
Well, absolutely. We've got humans flying around in UFOs, so somebody knows a lot more than they're saying. But I don't think the level of access that Lou has would have brought him to those deeper layers of running around in UFOs and interacting with beings. I could be wrong. Maybe he's been flying around in UFOs all this time. But I tend to think that his access is on that outer to middle outer layer of secrecy of the UFO control group. But either way, awesome stuff. Some actual understanding about how these UFOs themselves operate and the physics around that. Very interesting. Meanwhile, on that UFO podcast, Matthew Pines gives us some more clarity about the UFO Insider that's going to step forward to provide some level of UFO transparency or disclosure, or the next shoe to drop, right? Because he's been talking about, the coup de grace to come in the next few months. Some big thing that's going to happen, and some new person that's going to emerge from the shadows who's going to provide this. So who is that person? Matthew Pines won't give a name, but he says whoever this person is of a higher level than Lou Elizondo or David Grush or Carl Nell. Somebody that would be capable of being on the UFO review board. Now, Danny Sheehan has put forward, names like Leon Panetta, former director of the CIA, for, a position on the review board. And so is that the caliber of person that is needed to be on the review board? Is somebody at that level that we couldn't get a Lou Elizondo or a David Grush on the review board? I think that's very unfortunate if that's the case. If you need these big wigs who are not necessarily as beholden to the truth as we would like them to be. And that definitely goes for Leon Panetta. And also the host of that UFO podcast also brings out the name John Brennan, also not, resounding as a truth teller, unfortunately, looking at his history. I hope that's not who, the sort of person that's going to be on the review board, or that's going to be the type of person that would come forward, because that's what Matthew Pines is saying, is that the person coming forward that's going to provide the coup de grace for UFO disclosure is of the caliber of person that would be on the review board, which would be above, as far as status goes, or level goes, as rank goes, above somebody like, Colonel Carl Nell or David Grush or even Lou Elizondo. So, really interested to see who that would be, but I'm worried that somebody that high up in rank was going to be more beholden to the establishment and the powers that be than they would be necessarily to the truth. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Meanwhile, check this out, guys. I got this in an email from Jeff, one of the viewers of the channel, and thank you so much, Jeff, for sending this my way. This is really cool. He got this in an email, and he sent this on to me. Major U.S. law enforcement organization releases detailed guide on UAP. What? Law enforcement guide on UAP? This is insane, guys. The Major Cities Chief Association released a comprehensive guide on UAP in June for state and local law enforcement agencies that is intended to spur discussions within agencies. And here is the guide itself. Look at this crazy section. Section 1, UAP in the news. Spy balloons, drones, and advanced UAP pose a clear and present danger. Okay, well, I can see why, police would need to be cognizant of that, right? Western U.S. residents report the most UFO sightings. What are they actually seeing? Underwater UFOs display capability that jeopardizes U.S. maritime security. So, it's about jeopardizing security. Talking about people seeing, UFOs, and it could coincide with environmental variables such as light pollution and cloud cover, as well as things like proximity to airports and military installations. The results reveal the majority of reported sightings originate in the western U.S., along with a smaller hotspot in the northeastern U.S. So it's not necessarily saying that these are aliens. It's saying there could be more prosaic causes. But really interesting that this is going around. It does say that reports released by Arrow and ODNI, among other U.S. government and nonprofit entities, claim that UAP present a clear and present threat to national security. And also, therefore, it's in the interest of law enforcement to be aware of trends in reporting on UAP due to the unknown threat they may pose and their continued presence in controlled and restricted airspace where police air support units operate. And that's really interesting because of the medical emergency of Joe Biden the other day, where the Secret Service were talking, about drones up in the sky. And, what are those? Are those drones? We don't know of any drones up in the sky. What are those things? So, it is very possible that UFOs could get in the way of military and Secret Service operations and that sort of thing, and even police operations. So it's interesting that they are becoming cognizant of that and maybe learning how to deal with it, or at least learning how to talk about it. It's really interesting that this is becoming a thing now. That now in our modern world, police are receiving this sort of information about UFOs and how to talk about them and think about them, and phrasing the UFO phenomenon and more of a threat potential terms, which I think is really unfortunate. But again, these are the police, and that is what they do. They deal with threats, so it's totally understandable. But it does bother me that the police are looking at it as a threat, military and defense department looking at it as a threat. I think that it'd be nice if we had somebody out there that wasn't looking at it as a threat, that was looking at it as an opportunity for advancement of the human race, and in a friendly way. But it is what it is. At least the police are talking about it, and now we know that the police are talking about it. Meanwhile, from CBS News, Derry Borough Mayor declares Bigfoot as official cryptid. A borough in Westmoreland County is now honoring Bigfoot in a way that most would not believe until they see it, so to speak. Derry Bureau Mayor Grant Nicely, that's a fun name, issued a proclamation this week to declare Bigfoot as the official cryptid of the Bureau. By proclaiming Bigfoot as our official cryptid and establishing Derry as a sanctuary, we are embracing our local folklore and the rich history that makes our community unique. This proclamation honors the generations of stories and sightings that have made Derry and the Chestnut Ridge a destination for those intrigued by the unknown. Of course, it doesn't hurt their chances of being a tourist destination either, does it? Either way, I think that's pretty cool. I think every state should have their own official cryptid. I live in Texas. Our cryptid would probably be the jackalope. The rabbit with the antlers. But I think every state should have its own cryptid. That'd be awesome. Or every county even. What would your county and state cryptid be? Let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, check this out, guys. From the Daily Star, so take it with a big grain of salt. King Charles told to unveil the truth about UFOs after piloting alien craft. A new documentary will take a deep dive into the royal family's close connection with UFOs and ET life, which started with Prince Philip in the Queen's Library of Information. A new documentary named The King of UFOs is set to be released, detailing the royal family's interest in UFOs and potential alien life. The film is set to investigate a mysterious alleged UFO landing, which involved Louis Mountbatten's estate, Broadlands, Hampshire. Portrayed in The Crown by Greg Wise and Charles Dance, the Lord's supposed involvement with alien life has not yet been fully explored. The documentary is also thought to look into the late Queen's fascination with UFOs and crop circles, which she shared with Prince Philip. Archival footage and information is thought to show the royals as ET enthusiasts. Well, a lot of people think they're not just enthusiasts, they are ETs. So, who knows, guys? But either way, yeah, that's not a flattering picture of King Charles. But yeah, so what do you think? Is the royal family, are they ETs? Are they lizard people? Or are they just people interested in UFOs? I don't know. There's a lot of weird, creepy, esoteric stuff around that group of people. So my mind is open to the more fantastic possibilities. I don't think they're actually lizard people, but they could be in connection with some lizard people or something like that. The Vatican apparently was aware of beings underground interacting with, nobles of Europe back hundreds of years ago. And they even tried to block up the subterranean passages. Apparently, I've talked about this in previous videos, the evidence for this. The Vatican was trying to stop these subterranean beings from interacting with noble families and wealthy families. Could the royal family of England be one of those families? Could that interaction still be going on? Totally possible, guys. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Here's a question I hope will be answered by Lou's book. Did we actually lure any UFOs to their doom? Mike Herrera has talked about using psionics, or people with psionic abilities, to lure in UFOs and then shoot them down. Lou Elizondo talked about something a little different, but the same idea of using nuclear energy or nukes to lure UFOs in, probably for that same purpose. Here he is talking about that.
Yeah, at one point, if you will, a trap set up to collect information on these UAP. I can only talk about it because I've now had approval by the Pentagon to talk about it. It has now been cleared for me to talk about it. But we had a plan to set up a real big nuclear footprint, something we knew would be irresistible for these UAP. And then once we started seeing these UAP, with the trap would be sprung. Congress is being briefed fairly routinely by whistleblowers. Some of them have not been made public yet. New whistleblowers are ready to come out, provided they have the right legal protection.
Okay, yeah, so there you go. They were going to establish a large nuclear footprint. I don't know exactly what that means. Whether is that a new power plant? What is that? Is that a battle aircraft carrier? What exactly does he mean by that? But it sounds like they were deliberately trying to lure in a UFO. He says to study UFOs. And hey, maybe he's right. Maybe he's telling the truth there. But there's also a lot of things that Lou Elizondo probably can't say. And he might not be able to talk about UFO shoot downs. But hopefully, at least in his book, he will address this issue of luring UFOs in. And, maybe he'll tell us if it was at least successful. He may not be able to talk about luring UFOs in to be shot down, but hey, maybe he will. Either way, at least I hope he addresses the issue of whether this experiment worked or others like it, and whether we could actually lure UFOs in, at least to be studied. I don't know, guys. The whole thing bothers me that we are shooting down UFOs. Are we shooting at the good guys? Are we shooting at the bad guys? Does the control group even know what they're doing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Personally, I think that they think they know what they're doing. I think, at the deepest levels of the control group, they are working with beings or flying around in UFOs. And I think that they think the information they have is valid and genuine and enough to act on. But they are relying for that information on the beings that are giving it to them. And I don't necessarily trust the beings that are giving them that information. So, I worry that the control group is operating on a false agenda, but, we don't really know. We won't know until the Band-Aid is ripped off and we know what exactly they are doing or have been doing all these years. Is it possible they are no longer working with the beings? Has that partnership ended? We just don't know, but we need answers. We need oversight of these black programs because they are potentially involving humanity in conflicts we may not need to be in and we may not want to be in. So, yeah, we need a massive oversight of what these guys are doing, and we need UFO disclosure. Lou Elizondo is the man. He is the one that started this age of UFO disclosure, and I, for one, can't wait to get my hands on his book. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. I mean, come on, guys. Look at this. This is pretty cute. Yeah, I had to share it with you guys. Start your day off right with some cute kitties snuggling and purring with each other. All right. Check out the merch shop. Become a channel member. There's plenty of other videos on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.